I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. Okay, my life has been a very interesting life. ठीक है ना? Is everybody comfortable with English here? हाँ?
Yes.
आराम से मुल्ला साहब comfortable हो? हाँ? ठीक है चलो. तो मैं English में करता बीच में I'll throw in Urdu also. Okay, and I'll try not to abuse because I abuse a lot. Okay. So anyway, तो life very simple थी. I grew up in Karachi. I went to the US when I was 18. I studied in this state school in Illinois. वहाँ से पढ़ा के I came back to Pakistan. I got very lonely, so I came back to Pakistan. ठीक है ना? When I came back to Pakistan, Pakistan was उस ज़माने में बहुत एक बड़ा एक slow मुल्क था. Everything was very very slow. Economy वो ज़िया-उल-हक का टाइम था. उस ज़माने में ये था कि ज़िया-उल-हक के टाइम पे ये था कि इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रोथ नहीं हुई थी, बट इतना हेरोइन का पैसा सब जगह था, तो उससे ये होता था कि रियल एस्टेट प्राइसेस वर गोइंग अप एंड पीपल जिनके पास रियल एस्टेट थी उनकी ज़िंदगी चेंज हो गई, बिकॉज हेरोइन का पैसा बहुत घूम रहा था, आर्म्स एंड एम्यूनिशन का था, अफगान वॉर थी. बट मुल्क में अगर वो पीरियड में कोई तरक्की नहीं हुई, और तरक्की किस तरह होती है, when you basically create businesses, create jobs and then you create more and more jobs आपकी इस तरह की, that's what life is all about. You create opportunity. तो Zia's time was a time when I came back from the US and I started looking for a job. Okay, the economy was very slow then. Okay, Pakistan, we're talking about the late 80s. Okay, economy was slow, but because I would say I was a little more on the privileged side compared to others, के हाथ पाँव मार गए, मुझे मेरी पहली जॉब मिल गई थी फिलिप्स में. ठीक है ना? तो फिलिप्स में जो फिलिप्स का जो द ब्यूटी अबाउट फिलिप्स वाज दैट अगेन इट वाज अ कंपनी गोइंग थ्रू अ वेरी टफ टाइम एंड दे वर लूजिंग कंपेटिटिव एज. आई जॉइंड देम एट अ टाइम व्हेन वी वर सेलिंग टीवीज़, एंड जो टीवीज़ पे जो असाइनमेंट मिला था कि भाई इनकी एक टीवी होती थी स्काईलाइन एंड GX. वो एक ऐसी सीरीज़ थी कि अगर आप क्लिफ्टन डिफेंस की तरह उसको आप लगाओ ना, तो उसकी ICs में शॉर्ट सर्किटिंग हो जाती है, डैम थिंग वुड स्टॉप वर्किंग. ये बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था. So this was we're talking about a Philips time, but they had amazing good products also. They had an amazing DAP was उनके जूसर का जो जूसर ब्लेंडर्स बनाते थे, उनकी जो आयरन्स थी वो बड़ी हिट थी. टीवीज़ में they were having a problem not only in Pakistan, globally. इनके पास इतनी इन्वेंट्री थी दैट दे कुड नॉट सेल. तो मुझे उन्होंने एक असाइनमेंट दिया था, भाई इसी तरीके से ये तुम इन्वेंट्री निकालो. वी हैड स्टॉक्स मैन, आई मीन वॉकिंग इधर उधर लेफ्ट राइट, देखो ना स्टॉक्स एंड स्टॉक, इसको निकालो कैसे. तो मैंने उनके लिए एक सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस किया था हायर परचेज का. भाई ठीक है, जो इस पर डाउन पेमेंट डालेगा, और उस ज़माने में हायर परचेज का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था पाकिस्तान. अब तो आपको मोटरसाइकिल भी चाहिए ना, तो आप हायर परचेज पे ले सकते हो. द फाइनेंसिंग, ये जो ये वाला ना, ये लो एंड फाइनेंसिंग अब तो इट्स ग्लोबल, बट इन द लेट 80s nobody had heard of it. Don't forget we are sitting in 2014. ये 25-30 साल पुरानी बात है ना. We are sitting today in 2014. ठीक है? तो हायर परचेज was something कि मैंने बोला यार इसको हम लोग करें क्या. So what I did was, सबसे पहले मैंने जाके पाकिस्तान स्टील मिल को मैंने साइन अप करवाया. फिर मैं गया डॉक लेबर बोर्ड, पोर्ट कासिम अथॉरिटी, जितनी भी जो लेबर इंटेंसिव यूनिट्स थे, हमने बोला यार व्हाई डोंट वी गो एंड साइन अप इन लेबर इंटेंसिव यूनिट्स. तो जहाँ हम लेबर पे और ये हालत हो गई थी कि हम लोग उनको कहते थे भाई 2-3 हज़ार रुपये तुम डाउन दो और हर महीने आपके कुछ 600-700 रुपये कटेंगे, और वो भी स्टील मिल से हमारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था. तो स्टील मिल ये इतनी पॉपुलर हो गई दैट हमारे पास थे उस ज़माने में, हम पूरे साल में हम लोग बेचते थे मार्केट्स में 6000 टीवियाँ, एंड जस्ट थ्रू हायर परचेज वी सोल्ड ईयर 1 32,000. अब जब 32,000 आपके ऑर्डर्स आ गए तो बैकलॉग भी निकल गया, न्यू मॉडल्स पे हो गया, फिर हमने प्राइस बढ़ाए. इट केम टू अ पॉइंट वाज सो सक्सेसफुल दैट उन्होंने स्कीम स्टॉप कर दी. जब स्कीम स्टॉप कर दी तो लोगों ने शोर शराबा शुरू कर दिया, बिकॉज हमारी जो एग्रीमेंट्स होती थी CBA यूनियन से होती थी. तो व्हेन यू साइन अप विद अ यूनियन यू गॉट टू नो हाउ टू डील विद यूनियन लीडर्स ऑल्सो. ठीक है ना? अच्छा, द ब्यूटी अबाउट फिलिप्स था कि वहाँ वो सारे वो काले अंग्रेज थे, उनको आइडिया नहीं था कि भाई आप यूनियन वालों से कैसे डील करो. तो वो मेरा एक एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा हो गया था कि वो यूनियन वाले आते थे, उनके जो हम लोग कहते थे सेंट्रल बार्गेनिंग एजेंट्स, वो आते थे, अपना शोर शराबा करते थे, उनको मैं ठंडा करता था, ओके, वो चले जाते थे। और उनके लिए ठंडा क्या था, जो एक छोटा सा गिफ्ट दे दो, अंडा ग्रेवी खाना खिला दो, आई मीन वाज नॉट अ बिग डील। वो उनको ठंडा करते थे और सारे हमारे, एंड व्हाट वुड हैपन, द प्रोसेस वुड कीप गोइंग ऑन एंड वी वुड कीप कंटिन्यूइंग बिजनेस। सो व्हाट डिड दैट टीच मी? दैट टॉट मी कि भाई नेगोशिएशन स्किल्स इस दुनिया में आर एवरीथिंग, ठीक है ना। तो जिस बंदे के पास नेगोशिएशन स्किल्स हैं, द जॉब्स डन। सो व्हाट डिड वी लर्न? वी लर्न अबाउट हाउ टू नेगोशिएट विद पीपल। और नेगोशिएशन की ब्यूटी ये होती है कि आपको हर किस्म के इंसान से नेगोशिएट करना, आपको हर किस्म के इंसान से नेगोशिएट करना उसके माइंडसेट से करना है। फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू पुट समबडी इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी हु इज फ्रॉम Boston, USA, so I put on the Boston, USA hat and we sit and we talk about his terms. We talk about Boston, we talk about the greater New England area, we talk about things, we talk about life, we talk about what interests an American. So he feels so comfortable that I'm sitting across the table with a Pakistani who I can relate to, because the media and everybody else in this world have basically, they have dampened us so badly that the average Pakistani in the street is probably one of the nicest human beings you can come across. The same rule applies to somebody in the Midwest. You go to the Midwest of the United States of America, and I think you probably come across, I think you couldn't find even better people in this world than you find them in the Midwest of the United States. So the problem is, when people interact with each other, you build bonds. तो bond building हमारा सबसे important चीज़ है भाई, bond building. अगर आपको पता है how to build a bond, you are in a different league. So whatever you want to do, भाई हमने bond build करना है, ठीक है ना। और आप नोटिस करोगे कि क्या कहते हैं, हमारे मुल्क में जो सबसे जो सैड आयरनी है कि forces divide and rule us. I think the easiest nation to divide and rule, or easiest culture are the Muslims. So guess what? Everybody divides and rules. The Sunnis fight the Shia, the thing. मैं तुम्हें बड़ी मज़े की बात बताता हूँ कि मैंने 2006 में हज अकबर किया था, बिकॉज मेरे पीछे ये जुनैद और वो सारा जुनैद जमशेद वो गैंग पीछे पड़ गया था। वी वेंट एंड आई डिड हज अकबर, अमेजिंग एक्सपीरियंस, ठीक है ना। हमने हज अकबर किया था, हम गए थे, और मैं ये कौन सी थी, what was that thing called, very interesting. I didn't go with Universal, I went with Al Khair, okay? Al Khair के ग्रुप के साथ हमने हज किया था। और हज करने के बाद मैं I came back to Karachi, और मैं बहुत आपको मज़े की बात बताता हूँ। I came back to Karachi and मेरे साथ मेरे 2 जूनियर सेल्स रैप, मैं उस ज़माने में 3M में होता था, and Scotch Brite is the brand I launched in Pakistan. So we get into this car and we're driving, okay, and we hit Tariq Road from Sindhi Muslim. एंड अजान का वक्त होता है, कोने में कब्रिस्तान के साथ एक मस्जिद है, जो आपने सबने वो मस्जिद देखी है। तो मैंने वहाँ गाड़ी साइड पर रोकी, हम उतरे, और ये मगरिब का टाइम था, एंड वी वॉक इनटू दिस मॉस्क, ओके। कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ उर्दू इफ आई कम इन एंड ऑन?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome. So what happens is we go and walk into this mosque, okay, which is a normal mosque. And I say my prayers, and I see these 2 junior guys who are with me, my sales reps, are making a face and they're acting very irritable with me. And I come out of the masjid and I say, what's your problem? कहते sir, ये तो ब्रेलवी की मस्जिद थी, हम दोनों दियोबंद है। And I said, man, what is this? Okay, and for me it was a very big thing. Today, if you sit down among people, and this is normal conversation. So for me in 2007, coming back from my 2006 Hajj, somebody made this remark that, hey, this is Deoband, we are Deoband and this is Brelvi, how could you take us to this mosque? And obviously then I had to, in my own way, abuse them in my own way and cut this conversation and then move on. So my point was where if I've been slightly successful in life, it's been because there's got to be flexibility. And when you are flexible in your nature, when you're flexible and you care about the people in front of you, you care about needs, you care about relationships, you care about bonding, I think the sky is the limit. Now, Rehan here is a humanitarian. Okay, I am more of a business person. I say, okay, fine. It's great to be nice. It's great to give something back to the environment. It's great to give something back to the community. But you know what? It's great to also be highly motivated in developing business and doubling your numbers, because guess what? If you're not aggressive in business, somebody else will take your share. और तुम्हारी ज़बान में मैं ये बोलूँगा कि अगर आप इस तरह नहीं जाओगे तो कोई आपका नवाला छीन लेगा. It's very 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 simple. So what do we feel in life? Life is all about, ठीक है, it's good to be part of the community. It's good to serve people around you. But hey, you gotta be focused on higher achievement. You gotta be focused on goals. And one beautiful thing I learned in my career in 3M, they had a terminology. It was called CIP. You know what CIP meant? Can anybody just tell me what CIP means? Okay, well, let me tell you. CIP means Continuous Improvement Program. They don't call it targets. Targets is so typical. Continuous Improvement Program, which means, let's say, what's your name?
Saeed Nawaz.
Syed?
Saeed Nawaz.
Syed Nawaz. Syed Nawaz, 2013, this is what you were supposed to do. And guess what? You did a great job. 2014, this is what we expect you to do. And you're going to say, but isn't that too much? And we will say, no. It's because you're good. This is what we expect. And because we expect, we have raised the bar on you. Okay, this is a terminology you got to understand. Because today you're sitting in this room, and this room has its own culture. Tomorrow you'll have to compete with the Chinese, with the Indians from Bangalore, Indians from Hyderabad, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans. You know what? I mean, you go to Sri Lanka and you look at them, 99% literacy rate. You sit down and talk to them, and my God, man, even the guy serving tea, the Babu serving tea, can hold a conversation in English. Okay, so you know what? I'm not saying he has the perfect accent. Fair enough, but guess what? He can speak. So you see, let the environment be what it is. This is the private sector. The private sector has to be the finest. And you know what? It's so funny that you see Pakistanis overseas and they're sitting in places like you can't even imagine. You got the best doctors, the lawyers, the engineers. You got Pakistanis as some of the top bankers. So what does that tell you? We are a very, very sharp race. We are very intelligent people. But you know what? We want to rape our own country, which is very wrong. We want to take it when we come here. I mean, you go and you walk, you go into an airport anywhere in the world, and we stand in line. The minute we come and land in our own airport, we think, we can do what we want. We can take it for granted. You won't dare take a can of Coke and throw it on the street in Dubai. But here, if you people take Gutka, you spit all over the place. Why? Because we have become a race where we want to abuse our own nation and we behave well elsewhere. Now, but the thing is, that's because that's the government which is very, very weak. The private sector in Pakistan has sharp people saying they will not tolerate this. Because at the end of the day, what does the private sector want? We want to be the finest, right? We want to be the best. And how do you become the best? Is when you believe in yourself. So I'll give you a very simple example. This is how Rehan and I came into contact, and I used to keep asking him. I said, I think you got a gold mine here. You got, mashallah, very, very honest people sitting around you. I think you guys are dedicated. But you know what? Each one of us, if we want to make it, we have to be high achievers. And if you don't set aggressive goals for yourself, you will never be a high achiever. And then and life is very simple. It's very simple. The better you do, the more you get. The more you get, the greater you go. Now, some of us will turn around and say, I'm already content. I don't need more. Okay? And then there will be somebody else who will be 10 years younger than you. He's going to say, you know what? I want it all. And I will do that extra mile to take it all. So, when you have an employer sitting there, all of a sudden his focus goes on that guy who says, you know what, I want it all. और मैं करके दिखाऊंगा. So when it comes to that, the game changes. Now, this is how the vision takes place. This is how your sense of achievement takes place. When you say, I want it all. And this is where, there has been my discussion with him. I say, you know what, you set up units, but what about closure? For example, if tomorrow Rehan says, I want to do a small little unit here, paper, implementation, then it has to be growth. Because if we do paper, implementation, and we don't worry about growth, for 1 year he will keep quiet. The second year the hatchet is going to come. Hatchet, samajhte ho? What is a hatchet? Hatchet, you know what a hatchet is? Okay. Do you know what a hatchet is? What is a hatchet? Batao. Huh? Exactly. So what does a hatchet do? You hatch basically crop, right? So what does a hatchet mean when your employees get cut, man? Is that a fact of life? You're damn right, it's a fact of life. Why? Because end of the day, when employees get cut, there are 10 people dying to take your place. And isn't that what life is all about? Today, if you want to go marry a girl, okay, and 9 out of 10 today, she gets a better choice. Believe me, she'll go for the better choice. And how do you become a better choice? When you go out there. When I started my career when I was in Philips, I started my career at 4,000 rupees a month. Okay, my last paycheck was in the millions, let's forget about that. But it kept getting better, man, because when I was in Philips, I was a 22-year-old. And at the age of 22, I had no money. I had reasonable, I would say, upper middle class parents. But personally, I had no money. And the sad part is, when you are broke, there's nobody there to hold your hand. Obviously, when I started doing well, then even my parents looked at me and said, you know what, great. We have produced a reasonably smart kid. So then they would help me. And then when they helped me and I was doing well, and then other people came, and then, the network grew and grew and grew. And then God was kind, it became better. Now, I say, if I can do it for myself, doesn't mean I'm going to stop here. I, at this age, am still very ambitious because I haven't slowed down. What for? Why should I slow down? I still think I'm very young. Okay? I'm borderlining 50 now. Okay? But for me, I'm still young because I'm young here and I'm young here and I feel young. So, there are times if I'm sitting there and some kid calls me, let's say a guy in his 20s, when he calls me uncle, I feel like shooting him. Okay? That's, if some guy comes and says to me, uncle, and I don't carry a weapon, but if I was, I would probably kill him because it really upsets me. But hey, reality is that I am an uncle. Okay? But do I accept it? No. Why? Because I'm ambitious and I don't want to be an uncle and I want to be there because therefore I need the same energy that a 35-year-old has. Now, have the energy of a 35-year-old, obviously I got to, adjust a few things. I got to adjust my diet, I got to adjust my focus, my sleep, my lifestyle, and then realize what I want to do. And because I am so business focused, because that is what I live for, some people want to be golfers, some people want to do other things. People like me live for business. People like me get stimulation out of working around the clock. Because for us, we feel that if you are successful, the world is at your knees. We also realize that, hey, today, if you are a has-been, nobody talks to you. And this is why I've seen a lot of people who once upon a time were in uniform or in power. When they don't have that power, they go into depression. So what was plan B? And you know what is plan B? We call it a contingency. What is plan B in your life? God forbid if something, okay, God forbid today you're not here. What are you going to do? You don't have a plan B. Okay, nobody has a plan B because they think everything is forever. We don't even feel we're going to die. We think death is forever. My God, last month I don't know how many funerals I've attended. And we would meet people, we would have our sandwiches and go home. say our prayers like, hey, big deal. Death is for him, it's not for us. So when we realize everything is so short, and when we realize everything is, eventually we're going to go, why not make this life productive and have some fun? So I say have fun. It's very important to have fun in life. But what's the bottom line? The bottom line is we want to be successful. We want to be better than the guy next door. Because if you are successful, you have more friends, you have more people who like you. And how do you become successful? If you are a high achiever. So let's put it this way. If here you're doing a certain role and you say, you know what? You tell your supervisor, I think I can do more. What do I need to do? How many of you have actually done this? Let's be, because this is an open discussion. How many have you, Maulana Sahab, have you ever gone to anybody here and said, okay, you know what? I want to be more successful? समझ में आ रही मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ? कभी तुमने ये सोचा है कि भाई इस टेबल पे बैठ के यहाँ बैठते हो ना कि यहाँ से उड़ के बोलो कि जो भी मैं काम कर रहा हूँ मैंने आगे बढ़ना है? सोचा है? सोचा है? किससे बात की? इस कमरे में किससे बात की? नहीं बात की ना? इसलिए बिकॉज तुम्हें शर्म आती है, ठीक है ना? बट शर्म बुरी चीज़ नहीं है, बट अगर आप जाके बात करो और बोलो कि ठीक है यार, जो मेरा रोल है इस रोल को मैं डबल कर सकता हूँ, मुझे क्या मिलेगा? हम बोलेंगे ठीक है तुम्हें ये मिलेगा, पर तुम्हारा अगर रोल डबल होगा तुम्हें ये मिलेगा, तो जिंदगी का में चैलेंज नहीं आ रहा? चैलेंज का अपना मजा है ना, ठीक है ना? ओके, how about you? Because don't think I'm picking on you, you're just sitting in my focus. So someone like yourself, have you ever got up and come in the unit?
Yes, exactly. I did have some words with my supervisor.
Okay.
I have shared some feelings with him.
Yeah.
And I have asked him to give me some sort of work that I can achieve it.
Okay. Then what happened?
Definitely, I have achieved that.
You have, right?
Yes.
So do you feel a sense of achievement?
Yeah, a sense of achievement as well as sense of discomfort.
Awesome. I love it. Because you know what? If this culture, and I'm not going to obviously ask A, B, C, D, all of you, but if this culture is applicable to everybody in this room, okay, and applicable to everybody in this room, and you get your perfect work atmosphere, do you know that this business can grow at a rate of 40 to 50% a year?
Yeah, you are 200% right, definitely.
And when you start growing 40 to 50% a year, guess what happens? That generates investment, that generates a better atmosphere, that generates personal growth. Because life, okay, it's a very simple equation. When you give, something back to your employer, by the way, is whoever the employer is, he's a guy who's got a typical family. Obviously, if he sees his vision being implemented, he will always take care of the people who implement his vision. So what I'm trying to say is that, this is an exercise that we're going to come back and do. We're going to say, where do we want to go from here? What is a business that we can take and take it to a different level? And we're going to take businesses to a level that they're going to be mind-boggling. And you know what? We are going to compete. We are going to compete with people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, and show them what we are able to do. Okay? अब आप बोलोगे कि यार ये कैसे यार, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता यार, मैं कोई वन गाय जड़ा बस यार, मैं ये क्या कह रहा है? मैं तो बफर जोन में रहता हूँ या मैं 11F में रहता हूँ. How is that possible? It's very easy because it's up here. And you know how it's possible? From the exposure we give you. And exposure is something, okay, that cannot be given if you don't want to take it. So if I turn around and we talk about different cultures, we talk about saying exposure, if you have a mental block, there's nothing that no one can do. So if your mental block is say, this is something we can't accept. Now I'll give you a very simple example. How many in this room are on my Facebook? Okay? Alright? Okay. Now, obviously, when you look at my Facebook, some of you, you go into shock. It's not shock. I'm giving you all a message. My message is that I work hard, I promote a brand, okay, and I work hard, I promote a brand, okay, and I tell you that if I work hard, I can live the lifestyle I want, right? I can live any lifestyle I want, provided I achieve what I'm supposed to achieve in life. Now think about it. If I was irresponsible, if I did not believe that you gotta take care of family, you gotta take care of needs, you gotta take this thing. If I didn't know how to manage money, and if I didn't know how to get growth, do you think I could do all these things? No, because everybody in life goes through an up, and everybody goes through a down. Downs are very painful, and you know what? If you don't have presence of mind and you don't have will up here, you crack up and you just go further down. So we don't want to go further down. So what we're going to do is, in this discussion, this is where I'm going to end it here, because I'm going to come back and do several more. And when I come, my next discussion is going to be a lot about substance, where we're going to talk individually and see where we can all go from here. Where are we going to go from here? For example, let's say if one particular person is sitting in that workspace, what does he do? What are his goals in life? Where can he go from here? What can he do to grow the business? Now, some of you are support staff. Doesn't matter. Support staff has their own goals. We are talking about goals. We want to go like this. Because you see, I tell you what I feel. Maybe Rehan's philosophy is that, okay, that I want to start, I have given everybody the opportunity, and with very good pace, things are going to happen. My argument to Rehan is, why are we going to wait 5 years for something we can do in 2? Not that he's wrong. Okay? He's not wrong. I'm saying, why should we wait 5 years, something which we can do in 2? Because he knows in 5 years it will happen. I say, of course it will happen. But who knows what's going to happen in 5 years? So why can't we work on fast track? That is I'm not an argument, it's my discussion. I'll say, okay, he'll say, okay, these are my plans. This is what we want to do. I said, very good. But when? The life is all about timing. Because if you are not at the right place, for example, if there's a property for sale, and if you are there at the right place at the right time, and you buy it, the sky is the limit. If you buy it when the market is high, then you're stuck with that property for 10 years. You buy it when the market is low, and all of a sudden there's another boom, then you make windfall profits. So everything about life is about timing. Okay? And I feel right now, you know why the time is so right? I'll tell you why. Because globally, the world is in a very screwed up state right now. Okay? Borders are having issues. Some superpowers are having their own issues. Okay, a lot of debt is resurfacing. So nations like us, which are under the radar for the kind of work we are in, I think the sky is the limit. So when we are under the radar, the sky is the limit. So we are going to now, in the next conversation, when I come, and it's going to be very short, because then I'm going to come with a presentation, and we're going to talk in depth. And we're going to talk individually. Now, some of you will be shy. So with me, there is no shyness. Okay? So, some of you are going to be saying, you know what, Shamil, what you're saying, you can do all this because you had the exposure. No. I ran after exposure. Exposure, I ran after. And I wanted more. And more. And more. Okay? Because you know what? Because when the more the exposure you get, the more what we call powerful you get, and this is how you go ahead in life. Now I'm going to ask one of you a question, okay? Just one of you a question, and let's see who can answer this. Volunteer, who do I ask the question? You? Okay. Name me the 3 kind of powers.
Fire.
Power.
Powers.
Not electrical power, like power.
Powers.
Yeah, like power. Like, hey, somebody says, Shamil, you're a very powerful man. So I say, oh really? Tell me how. Give me the 3 kind of powers.
Money.
Okay, what's number 1?
Well, God on top of everything.
No, God is existing. I'm talking about man. I'm talking on earth. What are the three powers? Of course, God is everything.
Gold,
Okay, gold,
oil, and money.
gold, oil, and money is you think. So if a man has a lot of gold, and he has money, and he has what else? Oil. So that can a lot of oil lying in his what? In his backyard.
No, I know. Sell it.
Okay, so he's got a lot of oil,
Yeah.
and he's got gold, and he's got money. That doesn't relate to one thing. Okay,
Sort of does.
is he right? You agree with him?
No, to some extent.
Okay, so what would be your answer?
Wind power.
Wind power,
Willpower.
willpower. Okay, so that's the most important power. Willpower.
Yes. If there's a will, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a way. Haji, you tell me.
Self-belief for me.
Belief. Okay. What's your take on that?
Actually, I'm confused because I didn't recognize the question.
Okay. Somebody says, Shamir, we think you're a very powerful man. And I say, how do you think I'm a very powerful man? Okay, somebody made that statement. Let's say hypothetically somebody made a statement that Shamir, you're a very powerful man. And I said, oh really? Tell me how. I don't have any gold or oil in my backyard, huh, by the way.
Yes. You cannot understand your question.
Okay.
Please speak in Urdu. I don't matter here.
Okay.
They matter.
No, I want to speak in English so that Urdu they can speak even in their backyard. Why I want to speak in English is so that we stimulate their minds because, English is a language that is international. So they have to be proficient in English because if they want to go ahead in life, the English has to be fluent because don't forget, there is a life outside these two rooms also. It's very simple. Okay, and this is what my point to them is that if you want to be in these two rooms, eventually there has to be a life ahead of these two rooms. So we will continue in English. Okay, so we come back. My question is, Rehan says, Shamir, I think you're a very powerful man. I say, Rehan, how do you say that I'm powerful? Okay, so you're going to turn around and say that what makes you think that Rehan thinks I'm a very powerful man? Answer this question.
Can I re-answer?
Yes, please re-answer.
Knowledge,
Yeah,
and then wisdom,
yeah,
and then consistency.
okay. The most important power in this world is intellectual.
Should I answer?
Haji,
There's the ability, knowledge, and skill.
okay. It all comes under one head, intellectual.
Intellectual, yeah.
By damag hai, to you got power, right? So the second most important power is financial. No, financial. You gotta have money, right? But if you don't have a brain and you have money, you blow up your money. Haven't you heard of cases when this child inherits a lot of money after his parents die and he's basically an idiot and one day he blows up all his money, right? That's it, because he has no brains. And what if you and the third most important power is muscle. What is muscle? A guy who has 100 guys with him, okay, and he has 100 guys with weapons. That's called muscle. That is the third power, but it's the cheapest of all powers. You know why? Because let's say I have money, okay, and I have a brain, and you threaten me and you got 100 guys with guns. So I'm smart. I go, with my money, I pay the police so much, and I say I file an FIR, I file a case. I put you up because I have money. I exposed you in the media. Guess what? Who fights my battle? The state. And you, with your dumb 100 guards, are useless. But if you have money, brains, and muscle, you're the most powerful guy. Now you understand why the United States can walk into countries? Because they got all three. They got the best brains in the world live in the United States of America. Okay? Muscle, yeah, they got the Marines, they got everything, they got technology. Money, they print money. They actually print money. Okay? They have the Federal Reserve with them. All oil transactions are done in US dollars. So obviously, whoever made that country was a very big genius. So that's why the United States of America for many years will remain a very powerful country. Will the balance change? Obviously it will change because of the mistakes they've made over the years. However, it still will always be a force to reckon with. So what does that tell you? Coming back to us, intellectual. You don't have brains, you don't have the will, you'll eventually be out of the equation. If you are born with less brains, then you work hard to develop the brain. Okay? Very simple. If you were already born sharp, and instead of applying yourself and you become a smart ass, then you lose everything. So if you are born sharp and you apply yourself, today you'll be somebody very successful. And that's basically the bottom line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this discussion here, and I want intelligent questions from you. Actually, you know what? Ask me any question, even if it's personal. You know why? Because no question asked is a wrong question. So you can ask me a question. So we're not going to sit and stare at each other because we're not having a romance here. You're going to ask me questions, okay? So let's start with a question, and I'd love to answer it. Anybody, about anything. You want to talk about life? Yes, Rehan.
So two questions.
Yeah.
One, what is your objective of being here?
Okay.
Physically and in people's
Okay.
places?
The objective was basically you, because you and I, what we call, have had discussions. I see a genius, okay? I see someone who's a genius. I see someone who's got, a lot of humane element inside him. And I feel that you want to do a lot of things, and I think you can't do them alone. It's very simple, because, there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much you can do, okay? I bring a lot of wealth of knowledge, I bring a lot of experience and all that. And a lot of things that you are doing was something that I wanted to do also myself. You just beat me to it, okay? Because I was stuck in my own issues in life, okay? So I feel that with your skills, with your vision and our skill set, I think this can go to a level that you can't even imagine. And I think we can be at a level bigger than practically anyone there, because a lot of things have already been set up. A lot of networking you already done. A lot of pieces you already put. Like this DIDX thing of yours. I was talking to this gentleman called PJ Entrepreneur, and he was even telling me he's using this. I was chatting with him last night. So what I'm saying is, the whole thing is there. I just want to, be part of it and fuel it, and bring in a lot of things here on other projects. So when we spoke, there are certain areas where I can add serious value, and there's certain areas where I can learn a lot as part of my own personal development. Okay. Then the second part of your question was, what do I see here? Here I see honesty. I see good people. Okay. I see people who are very, very content, most of them in life, which is not good. How can you be content at this age? A lot of you say, whatever I'm doing is good and fine. If somebody gives me something better, I will go. And I say, no, that's wrong. Why don't we take this talent and take them and help them achieve their goals? We take the talent, help them achieve their goals, and hopefully when they achieve their goals, that will happen when our goals are achieved. And basically, goals and objectives, if they haven't been set, they should have been set. So they will be set. So this is I think a lot of good work has been done, because it's not that the toughest part is to start something from green field, from scratch. That is impossible. It's very tough. You guys already have something. I think it can be at a different level if all of us are on that drive mode. We are all in a drive mode, and we all want to go to that level. So I think if all of us are in that same mindset, now the thing is, some people will be here, some will be here. So when we all have that same aggressive mindset, I think we'll achieve goals. And when you achieve goals, don't forget, you also end up achieving personal goals. Work goals will always achieve personal goals too. It's not that there's one goal and it doesn't mean the other goal. When your work is going fantastic and you're being constantly achieving, you're going in a direction, every other goal falls in place. And that's how it is, you know. Like in China. China, the beauty is, if you don't work, you die. As simple as that. I mean, they're at it. I mean, I haven't come across more professional people. I haven't come across more hungry people for business. I used to import a lot of things from China. And they're hungry, they want more. And when an order doesn't come, and 3 months go by, they're calling you on the phone and saying, is everything okay? Why? And to the point, and I got to give you there's so many success stories in Pakistan. Look at Q Mobile. And what was Q Mobile all about? It's all about rebranding. Okay, and Q Mobile, and what is it all about? Look at Q Mobile. I mean, I can give you examples of companies here who've just used intellectual power and gone to levels that you can't imagine. And this is what we're going to do under this umbrella. There's so much we're going to do under this umbrella if it all falls into place. Okay, and of course, even me, I can't do anything alone if the people are not there. And this is what we've realized. If you don't have the people, you can't do anything. Even in the small business that I have of Black Betty, I've always had a problem finding good people. We can't get good people. Because you know what? Good people everywhere in the world are tough to get. It's very simple. If you see a beggar on the street and you tell him, look, I'm going to give you a job and give you decent living, he will never come to you. I've tried that experiment 100 times. If you ever get a beggar on the street and ask him, why don't you come and work, he'll never work for you. Because he's a professional beggar. And why should he work when he can beg? And as long as people are doing wrong things in life, and as long as people are doing corruption, beggars always will survive. Because you think by giving a beggar something, you have washed your sins. Crazy, huh? But that's how the world is. Okay. Rehan could have asked me that question one-to-one. Why? Here, come on, I need a question.
I got two.
Okay, beautiful.
The first is that you said Rehan envisions to achieve his goals in about, say, for example, 5 years. But you, on the other hand, say, why don't we, try a little harder and try to achieve it in another 2 years? Now, my question here is that isn't there a probability of high risk of making more mistakes? Well, or secondly, provided the infrastructure he has, the muscle and everything, I'm sure he has the calculation equation properly, and he is very certain that he can reach his goals in 5 years. That's his calculation. So what's your strategy? I mean, how are you so sure that these goals can be achieved in 2 years? That was first.
Yeah.
Second question is that you probably made mistakes in your life, as we all do. What was the best did you learn more from your mistakes or your success?
Okay. When it comes to business, I'm, by the way, very conservative because I may look I'm bullish in my ideas, but when it comes to business, I'm very, very conservative. Conservative in the sense that when you say risk, the biggest risk that bothers people are financial risks. Okay, when you make basically financial screw ups, where you end up spending too much money to look like a business. That's why if you look at businesses, a lot of startup businesses in the world, most of them fail in the first 2 years because they've already spent so much money to look like a business. So guess what? This office could have been in Harbour Front. Okay, this office could have had a different outlook. At the end of the day, initial output would have been more or less the same, right? But you know what? I think this office basically, okay, if we had wanted to go unnecessarily initially fancy, would have not really served the purpose because our objective is not in this office, not so much back office, it's frontline, meeting the customer. And to meet the customer, because the customer doesn't fly in from Ohio to come to all the way to Tariq Road to come and see who's sitting here and what outfit they're wearing. Are you wearing a shalwar kameez? Are you wearing trousers? What are you doing? What do you eat? He doesn't care. He looks at the end product, right? So the smart thing was, so when what I loved about the infrastructure, it's comfortable, it's clean, and it serves the purpose, right? Your question was, how can you do it for 1 year? I've always worked fast track. My 15 years in 3M, and I think 3M was probably one of the most aggressive companies in the world. I've been there 15 years, and people would not survive. And they would push you and reward you, and it was a lot of fun. And when you get used to that, and their philosophy was, because 3M was, and all American multinationals owe it to the shareholders. And what do shareholders want? They want, end of the day, they want return on their investment, right? So the reason why Rehan wants to do in 5 years is because Rehan, has his philosophy is, let's grow slowly, let's do it right, okay? And I've got a lot of other things to do. I've given you empowerment, and I have trusted you, and this is my expectation. Now I'm busy. Okay? So he comes back after 1 year and says, okay, this is what I thought you were going to do, and guess what didn't happen? Now what do you want me to do? That's his working style. I trust you, I've given you empowerment, and I expect you to do this, and will it be done? Yeah, of course it will be done. And then he takes off to do what he does best, right? Because he's one human being, and one man has so many limitations, okay? Because then he moves on to do other things, right? I say, okay, fine, it's good what you do, but there's gotta be,
Some flag.
no, there's gotta be things have to be on fast track, because if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. Because there are sharks sitting out there. There are people who are very, very aggressive. And if what you're doing, somebody else will say, aha, these are very good ideas, but they're sleepy. So while they're sleeping, let's go faster. And that happens, and don't forget, I'm an FMCG person, okay? And FMCG is all about shelf. Shelf space, shelf. If you don't get the shelf, somebody else takes your shelf. Okay? And then what happens? And if you don't create enough pull, your product lies on the shelf, so they kick you out anyway. So that is the thinking that I come under. So you have to be fast track. And you have to be saying that, because you know what? Even if you try to do it in 2 years, and if 5 is realistic, 2 will not be realistic, but we will still, basically, you'll do it in 2.5. And when you do it in 2.5, you block somebody else. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say I have a product, a water cooler, a water cooler for the house. And there is a store, and Imtiaz opens a store, and a fourth store, Imtiaz store. And they say, oh, in this area, we've designated this area for water coolers. You walk in there and tell Imtiaz that I will give you my water cooler, and I'll give you so much margin, and I'll give you so much shelf rental. The other guy will be thinking, you make the first move. He takes your stuff, he puts the thing, you take the space. The guy who's thinking, who comes back, guess what? The terms become worse for him. He said, oh, we already got the terms. Now if you want to get him, I have to create more space with you, which I don't have, so this is what it's going to cost you. So what is that? It's aggression, right? So if you think too much and you don't act, you're dead. You think, you don't act, you're dead. So if somebody who can't make decisions will eventually die in the game. So this is my thing. And another little piece of advice. Okay? Remember when you were young, when you were growing up, our parents used to tell us, okay, don't mix with this guy, don't mix that. They were right. Why did they tell us this? Because they never wanted us to mix with jerks. They didn't want to mix with bad company. So even today, if you got people who you hang around with, who are not ambitious and don't have any goals, and they want to waste your time, get rid of them. They'll bring you down. Do not mix with people who are going to bring you down. Only mix with people who are going to take you this thing. Because if you mix with people who are doing well in life, you're going to replicate them, you're going to copy them. And there's no harm in copying people to achieve yourself. So if you mix with people who are going to bring you down, Get rid of them. You don't want to mix with people who are going to bring you down. Don't you have a question for me?
I do.
Go ahead, shoot.
The funny thing I've been meaning to ask,
Okay.
that I won't because I want to give space. What made you realize one day that you need to change your lifestyle? What lifestyle changes did you make, and how is it affecting you?
I haven't changed my lifestyle. From a guy who's been working 21 years in organizations, you know.
You mentioned you did your eating habits, and you said lifestyle. I just
Okay,
don't know
no.
what is it now.
I said that for me to compete with the 35-year-old,
Right.
I will need to change I'll have to lose about 20 pounds because, you know, when the more the weight you have, the lazier you get, okay? And I can't afford to be lazy. When you want to lose 20 pounds, you have to eat the right food, you got to go hide,
So do
you know, I've started.
Okay.
Okay.
What is it specifically?
Lot of greens. Greens are very important.
Like,
Avocados, a lot of lettuce, beans, sprouts, no tomatoes because tomatoes are nothing. A lot of cucumber, okay, mushrooms, amazing stuff. I love avocados. Avocados are really nice, okay.
do you exercise?
Yeah,
What
started.
is it and how much? And how
Not
often?
enough, not enough.
And how is exercise helping you as much as you do?
I started walking. First I started normal walking, now brisk, and then I'm going to go back on the treadmill. I don't want to like immediately go on a treadmill and next thing you know I've had a heart attack. You know, I don't want to be in that situation also. So I've started walking, now brisk walking, and then like tonight I'm going to walk late because I'm here. So normally this time I'm walking. So tonight I'm going to walk late. So what I'm going to do is you walk, you eat the right food. You know, if you eat the right food, you don't walk, you cut down alcohol, you cut down all these, you cut down sugar. I think you're in amazing shape. You see, if you feel good, you perform. If you don't feel good, you'll never perform. So if you're sitting here and you're having heavy meals with a lot of oil, you're not going to buy. You're going to fall asleep. And then this thing. So what I'm trying to do is get as much cholesterol out of my system. Not easy, but you got to get cholesterol out of your system. That's the most important thing. If you cut down on cholesterol, you get that out of your system, then the sky's the limit. It's not going to be easy at my age, but I think I'll manage.
Thank you.
Look, sure. Haji.
I was my second meeting with you. I'm rather very much impressed with you. Yes, of course it is. Basically, you are a salesperson,
Yeah.
but you achieved this position where you are now present. I would like to ask you, what are those factors that we can attract maximum customers? Because we are also having the same field here in this organization.
Okay. Customers are there. Everywhere the customers are there. It's touching them. Now the thing is, let's presume there's a company selling water to a customer, 19-liter water. What water comes in this office? Can anybody tell me? Culligan? Okay. Now, how did Culligan end up here? Okay. Did they send somebody? Was the guy who has the Culligan franchise in Pakistan a friend of Rehan's? How did he walk in? Did he give us special coupons? How did he touch here? And how come he's got continuous business? These 5 questions answer your question. So what I'm trying to say is that first of all, we have to identify the pie. Who are the pie of customers? Okay, I'll tell you how I grow Black Betty. Black Betty is in 3,000 stores, but hey, Karachi has 86,000 stores. So people say, 3,000 stores, great job, and I just smile because I know I got to cover another 83,000 stores, which I never will. So I realize that at 25,000 we stop, and then the rest through the wholesale and through suppliers will make it. I will not be able to physically do more than 25,000 stores, but 25,000 will I get there? Of course I will. That is called width, touching the width. The second way to grow business is depth. Sell more into each store. Like Aga Supermarket, when I launched, I used to give them 5 products. Today I give them 20 products. So what is happening is, we first used to give them only 5. When they were happy with 5, they say, you know what? Credibility. Why don't we give you more? So now they're taking more products. So life is about, width and depth. So let's say, for example, you got a client in the United States of America, but he's buying one service from you. Guess what? You got 3. For example, if you have 3 other services, why isn't he picking the other? You know what he's telling you? He said, well, actually, we are using, I don't know, Marsons, for example. Let's hypothetical name. We're using Marsons, and they've been pretty good. We got to convince them to take 1 more. We got to convince them to take 2 more. And so when you have width and you have depth, the party's on, yeah? And how do you get depth? Relations. Because you may have a good product, but the guy may not give you opportunity. And you know what? And B2B business is all about relationship. It's about relationship. So if you guys can't make relationships, then there is an issue. And B2B means if you're traveling and you meet someone, the guy shouldn't think you're a weirdo, man. You're meeting a guy, let's say you're meeting a guy in the Czech Republic. So the guy in the Czech Republic may want to take you out to a certain place, and he's got a cultural thing. You got to go and adapt. So every time you go and meet somebody from that country, do you even read up about the country? Do you even know what's happening? Do you guys know what happens in Warsaw? Do you know what happens in Budapest? Do you guys even know what happens in other parts of the world, especially the people who are in sales? Do you even know that if you go and meet a guy, let's say from Slovenia, what are you going to talk about? What's the conversation going to be? If you're going to meet somebody from China, what are you going to talk about? Because what are you doing? You're breaking the ice. And when you're having on a sales call, the first meeting, you don't talk about business. You always talk about the environment. You talk about what do you want to talk about. So the person, if for example, if I'm getting to know you and I don't know why you're here, but I will talk about you, what you like, what you're doing, this thing, what's about your country. Maybe I've probably even been there. So you turn around and say, you know what a cool guy. And then you say, okay, by the way, what do we do? Oh, sure. Now when you've already got a bond, everybody's flexible. She will be flexible, I'll be flexible, we got ourselves a deal. And that applies wherever we go. When we meet a customer, we got to make the customer comfortable. Because he's meeting a lot of smart people from all over the world. And I don't know how many of you met Americans. I mean, they're very smooth. They're smart. They know how to talk. They know how to joke. They're flexible. They can crack jokes. They know how to break the ice. Sometimes, where they lack is follow-up. One of the biggest problems we have in American sales is in follow-up, they goof up. Follow-up, they goof up. So what is follow-up? The back office. Delivery. Breaking ice, opening doors, you can't beat an American. Follow-up. So hey, if our back office is very strong, then you know what? We excel in breaking ice. So this is how things are done. And this is where the level can be. Another question, please. We'll take 2 more questions and we'll wrap up. Come on. 2 more. Come on, 2 more. You got to have a question. Haji.
Do you feel intimidated when you face your limitations?
I don't know what I haven't come anywhere near my limitations. Intimidation, no, because I tell you what I was intimidated first time in my life. The first time in my life when I moved from Philips to Unilever, I had to go and give a presentation in front of 100 people, salespeople. And because those 2 years of mine in Philips, we did nothing. We just sat there, went to the market and came back and had a cup of tea and dealt this thing. And I was dealing with labor. My skills to present was zero. So I was educated, but I couldn't present. So when I got up to present, my hands were shaking. And this girl who was with me, she calmed me down. And she told me what I need to do. She calmed me down. She told me what I need to do. She this thing, and I did my first presentation. When I did my first presentation, I became so confident. I never stopped speaking. But that was my only one experience. Why? Because I didn't have the guts to get up and speak in front of 100 people. Today you put me in front of 5,000, no issues. The first presentation was very, very tough. And that was a limitation because I was nervous. So today, nervous about what? Because I'm so open about everything. Nervous is when you got too much to hide about yourself. Nervous is when you have an agenda. Nervous is when you're not sure about things. Nervous is when you're scheming. If your life is one open book and your objectives are so open, what are you going to be nervous about? Either they're happening or they're not happening. There's nothing to be nervous about. So that's the thing. So no, ulta people get intimidated because they're not like us, they're not like me. There's always something there. They've always got some agenda. They've always got something on their mind. They've always got something cooking up. So when you ask them certain questions, they're on the back foot, right? People like us are not on the back foot because you got nothing to hide. You ask us any question, even ask me a personal question. I'll answer it. So when you're so open, what are you going to be nervous about? True. Haji.
You said it's hard to find good people.
Very hard.
Around the world. So what is the definition in your eyes about the good
Okay.
person? And how do you find them?
Okay, very good. How do you find good people? Talent.
And the definition is also important.
What is
It
the
varies from
definition?
Okay, but I'll tell you my definition. My definition is a high achiever, a guy who performs and who loves his job is good for me. He doesn't have to be very, very intelligent. Someone who's dedicated to his job and delivers. Okay, somebody who doesn't cut corners. Urdu में हम उसको कहते हैं हड़हराम, ठीक है ना? And the problem in Pakistan is we cut corners. Okay? And we use a word which in English is called make do and in Urdu is called jugaad. Okay? And basically हम लोग जुगाड़ू हैं, which is what kills us. And that's why sometimes, a very simple example, in London, in the UK has a very good policy. If you export anything outside UK, you can get a refund on VAT, on VAT. Pakistanis go there, they start doing false billing. So what happens? They crack down on the system. So if we get and not all of us are like this. There's a percentage who's extra creative. Okay, and that's bad news. We need honest people, dedicated people who want to achieve life. For me, is an awesome worker. But I'm not joking. In my life, if I've ever worked in a company and there are 100 people, out of 100, I don't think more than 20 are like that. I don't know what it's like here. I don't know. You can answer the question.
Still a good ratio.
Anna? There you go. He's saying it's a good ratio. So obviously, it's a message to you guys, man. So his ratio would probably be 10. So just say अगर इस कमरे में, let's say how many guys are you? Let's say there are 20 people. 20 में 2 star हैं, 18 dicey हैं.
How do you convince someone which is being raised in this culture,
Yeah,
which is all about cutting corners,
yeah.
and then you ask them to come into this office and say, don't cut corners, take the longer route, maybe it will take more time, but you will get...
Comes back to you, Rehan, how are you going to reward them? Siddhi baat, you asked me an honest question, this thing. Life is a contract. You said don't cut corners, say if you do this, I will give you this. You stay to your commitment, they will not cut corners.
What if this doesn't still work?
Then there's a thing called a corrective action program. Okay, and then if not, then the guy has to go. Because this is not a charity, it's a business. Like I said, this is a business. And that applies to, and that's, by the way, जो मैंने अभी बात बोली, ये तलवार was under me all my life. Everywhere I went, I was pushed more than an average guy because they thought I could do it. And it was very unfair with me in life. Because they knew that I'm dedicated, I can work, so they good. We got an idiot, he's going to give us more. And the point was, I would deliver. Every bloody time I would deliver. And it was unfair on me. They were very unfair. They knew I could get the job done. Okay, so they would say, okay, you can get the job done because they knew this is what I live for. No? This everybody has a goal in life. I'm the type who wants to get things done. You'd see that anything I say I do because I go by that commitment. So nobody has to tell me to check if I work or I don't work. They just, my bar is very, very high. Okay, my bar has always been very high, but I don't mind. And the reason why nobody could ever take action because I was so good at what I did. I was very good at what I did, and it was easily measurable. So if you in life, it's all about thing. Life is all about commitment. देखो, it's very simple. अगर आप इस कमरे को, ठीक है ना, इस कमरे को एक तबलीगी जमात बना दोगे, तो फिर ठीक है, तो वो तबलीगी जमात वाला रिजल्ट आएगा, ठीक है ना. If you make this room into a vibrant force होगा, ठीक है ना. So जो personal life और performance को अगर आप उसमें if you don't mix the two, there's a problem. And when I was heading Volvo, and I was heading Volvo, and I was based in Lahore, we had this one guy from the Shia community from Islamabad. And what he used to do was, he was a very good guy in the technical department, but he was some Sayyid from somewhere, from Islamabad, of some Gaddi Nashin or something, okay? Alright, I didn't get into details. But all he would do was, on the job, he would start preaching. Okay? And we had to keep telling him, I said, listen man, you want to do this, you have to do this on your own time, not on the workspace. Okay, because at the end of the day, religion is very personal. You can't tell anybody what to do. But you should tell him, listen, you want to be preaching and you want to talk about all this Shia Sunni stuff, do it outside, not here. But he should do it. Eventually they fired him. And guess what? He was a good worker. But he had this problem that he would bring religion to the workspace. One beautiful thing about Iqra University is, and I lecture 2 courses there, that they don't allow any party or any bloody unionization. Okay? Third place, but if you go to Karachi University, everybody's there. See, the private sector doesn't have time for tolerance, man. We don't have time for this. Why? We have goals. You've got a goal to do. Achieve it, you get more. Don't achieve it, okay, why did you not achieve it? There is humanity also. If you turn around and say the markets were shut, things were happening, guess what? We were selling to Thailand and there was a storm in Thailand, people died, tsunami plus. So you say, all right, you got an excuse. But you know what? If everything is going very well and you had a personal problem, and because of your personal problem, your work suffered, in the corporate life, nobody cares. That's your problem. Don't bring your baggage from home onto the workforce. It's simple. And you will see this. And not talking about, let's say tomorrow you guys leave this place and go work somewhere else. Okay? Which is more structured on these things. Mahatu, from day one, you'll be grabbed. You'll say, well, this is what you're supposed to do. In life, it's very simple. If you are an entrepreneur, you will implement these rules. If you are working, you have to follow these rules. But otherwise, there are no rules. In Black Betty, in my business, anybody who doesn't come to work, I cut 500 rupees. I swear I do that. Everybody comes to work. First, every day the day I would pay them, next day they would take 2 days off. I used to crash. Don't do this to me, man. What have I done wrong? They would say nothing. So, you know what? It's very simple. I pay them on the 10th of every month. And if anybody doesn't come to work on time, when he doesn't come that day, 500 rupees gone. This is rule, rule. And there's one guy of mine who's a very good performer, who does all my key stores. And he tried to blackmail me. You don't blackmail an employer, man. Dumbest move. So he turned around and said to me, he said, sir, this month is also, I would suggest you're not going to cut my money. You are not going to cut my money, telling a guy like me. So I paid him on the 15th of the month and I cut his money. I paid everybody on the 10th. Aur tum bologe, Shamir, you're ruthless? No, it's not that.
So do you think this kind of act is professionalism?
Well, You are
And
telling.
he's coming here
Yeah.
and he is working for the money. What is the subject that they are coming here to solve?
That you answered my question. You have just told me that in life, everything about your life is money.
Yes, exactly.
Acha, everything is about money. So this means. So then tell me something. That's very simple. Have you dancing वाली देखी है? जो कहते हैं, वो भी पैसे के लिए नाचती है. Life is not about money. ये तुमने सबसे बड़ी गलती की. Life is about achievement, personal growth. तो इसका मतलब है somebody gives you 5,000 rupees more across the road, you will walk away. If everything is about money, it's not about money. It's about achievement, environment, growth, future. Achievement, environment, growth, future. If everything was about money, he doesn't leave. Why doesn't he leave me? He can maybe get something more because the day I was always offered more money by other people.
But still you didn't answer my question. Like
What?
I asked you.
Yeah, what was your question?
I asked my question about the act that you have done. Was that professional?
Hmm?
The act that you have deducted his salary and you have given on 15th of month.
Yeah.
That was professionalism.
No, because he blackmailed me.
Okay, fine, but you have some disciplinary rules, right?
No, I didn't have any discipline. He blackmailed me. Blackmail is something I don't tolerate. If a guy tells
You
me,
can show cause him, you can give him.
no, why should I show cause him? Why? Because you show cause if he had done something wrong. He got paid this on the 15th because he told me that you are not going to cut my money. Okay? When there's a rule, how can a guy blackmail me? How can you blackmail your employer? How can you tell an employer that, hey, this thing, you cannot blackmail an employer. I mean, he blackmailed me. So I had to take the chance. Okay? Good guy. If he didn't request us, please don't say, sir, you're not cutting my money this month. Because he thought I could not do without him. Okay? And the day you guys think that you are indispensable, you're living in a fool's paradise. I launched Scotch Brite. I made it into a $6 million brand. I'm not there, Scotch Brite is running. Never ever think that you are indispensable. Because the next guy will be better than you. The day you think you're indispensable, you're the biggest fool in this world. Because the next guy will be better than you. I can guarantee you that. There'll always be somebody better than you. And there'll always be somebody smarter than you who's going to play a smarter game. Okay? I took the guy from here to here. And then he decided to take a few extra days off when he knows I'm very strict on rules. And you know what he did? He tested me because he knew he was good. So when it comes to discipline, I don't care how good anybody is. I will never ever give in because I'm not a weak person.
Tell me something, how do you differentiate between the priority, importance and urgency? And second thing, how do you set your unrealistic targets? And third, actually I forgot that question was coming in my mind.
So it'll come.
If I remember, so definitely
It'll come.
I'll ask you.
It'll come.
Right now I have two questions. How do you differentiate between the priority, urgency and the importance of some sort of assignment?
Okay, I'll tell you how I do it. I'm an FMCG person. FMCG is all about priority. Bhai, priority का मतलब है भाई.
FMCG is B2C, right? Not B2B.
FMCG is B2C. Not even B2C, it's pure retail. There's no BB here. B2C means directly to the consumer, okay? And B2B is to the business. This is to the shops. So they're not, the consumer is not there, the business are there. It's basically retail. Retail. मसलन मैंने माल दिया नाइट स्टोर पे, ठीक है? The guy has a target, revenue target, sales target, outlet target. If he achieves outlet targets, he gets so much extra. He doesn't achieve, he gets a deduction. If he achieves, मेरा काम करने का स्टाइल बड़ा ruthless है, because all my life I've been under ruthless too. I've always been ruthless when it comes to business. Okay, because if I don't be ruthless, I will be out of business. And the last thing I want is, some guy called something Kalia taking away my share. Okay? So I have to be ruthless. Okay? And the guy who, if you perform, then you get whatever you want. So I told him, you achieve your targets, this is what you get. You don't say this is what you get. Simple. I don't fire anybody. I don't fire anybody. But hey, you can lose half your salary if you work with me. So if you want to leave, you're welcome to go. Will I get somebody else? Obviously. That's how business is done. We are business people. Okay? And it's because we are business people, we drive good cars, we do this thing. Why? Because we are business people. Do we give back to the system? Of course we give back to the system. We always give things back to the system. But how do you give things back to the system? Provided, they give you something back to the system. Because nobody keeps freeloaders. If you have a servant in the house, let's say you have a Masi, and she defies you, what are you going to do? Give her a hug? Let me ask you a question. You got a Masi, and you told her to clean the shoes, wash the dishes, clean this thing and come back. Okay? And she doesn't listen to you. What are you going to do? Are you going to hug her? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Definitely I will question her.
Question her?
Yeah,
Okay.
what was the reason?
Okay. Then she tells you that I haven't come for 5 days and you got a rule, if you don't come, you cut money. Oh, by the way, you're not going to cut my money this month. Because she's trying to tell you that if you cut my money, I'm going to walk out on you. What are you going to do?
So being an aggressive, definitely I have to ask her. I have to ask her why you are telling me you cannot protect my salary and whatever. Instead I tell her just go.
Do you think I have the time to do this? When I'm spending half my time thinking here, this is why, do you know why he doesn't have time for these things? Because his vision is to deal with bigger issues in life. Who has the time to sit about nitty-gritty like this? That's what I'm telling you.
See, I have answered you on my personal grounds, so
Yeah.
don't take it up and make it with Rehan.
No, I'm telling you, I'm giving you an
We have
example.
different visions, we have some different, okay?
Exactly.
Answer
But
was-
let's come talk about me. I'm ruthless. I'm very aggressive. I'm ruthless. And I don't take nonsense. Let's talk about me. If I had to do business, I'd be very aggressive, very ruthless. Okay? I don't get blackmailed. I don't allow blackmail. Okay? If people try to muscle me, I muscle them back. So I hope that answers your question. I'm ruthless. I don't allow it. Why am I ruthless? Because at the same time, I'm very generous. You are on my Facebook, aren't you? Okay. I suggest you come and get an idea what I'm all about. Because this is the way we operate. Yeah, if you bring in amazing amount of results, you bring in business, then I'm the kindest human being on earth too. But if someone turns around and tries to negotiate, power play and blackmail me, there is no way I'll allow it. Because guess what? By allowing a person to blackmail, I'm getting a problem. How do you find good people? Okay. Good people are people who you can trust and dedicate. Now tell me something. If someone is a good person, okay, like this guy is a good person, okay? A good person is someone you can trust, someone who will not cheat you, and someone who will give you, deliver your end result. Someone who will not blackmail you, okay? Alright? Because when you're blackmailing your owner or your boss, that is the worst thing you can do. You think if you can that what people do in 3M, what used to happen was we had an employee, he would get a better offer. Some of those employees were critical. We say, good luck, go. Thank you. And he was like, because what was he doing? He was coming with the offer to negotiate. I'd say, please go. Banks don't do that because those guys bring in business. But banks, once you've done that, then it gets very, very ruthless. So for me, I say, a good employee is someone that you interview, you give him, you trust him, you give him your goals, and that's what happens. That is what a good employee is. Okay? And where do you find them? It's a constant challenge. Most good employees always want to be paid well. If you think he's good, then you pay him well. But then if you pay him well, then he has to deliver also. It's as simple. If somebody comes and says to you that if the market, for example, is 100,000, he's asking for 130, you say, why? He says, because I'm good. And if you think he's good, pay him the 130. But then say, hey, this is what you got to do. You would do the same if you were running businesses. Wouldn't you do the same? You would do the same. Because end of the day, it's end of the day, we all have basically the same goals. We want to get top line, bottom line. And I'm glad that we're having this discussion, because you know what? You should be demanding more and then also delivering more. And remember one thing, you're going to raise the bar on yourself now. You're going to be demanding more and you should be delivering more. Then you should also, if you feel that you have the personality where you can also relate to meet people abroad and impress them, I think you should take up that challenge also. You should take up the challenge of saying, okay, fine, I can do more. You should be, take up the challenge and say, you know what, I'm willing to go and meet a customer in the Middle East and bring more business for you. Can you do all this? No? Yes? Okay, good. That's it. So, like I said, and it's not that people here, इनको कोई जंग लगा हुआ है. भाई इनको आपको direction देना है कि where do they want to go? What do they want to do with their lives? How are we going to bring more business? How are we going to grow business? And you see, I haven't seen how you people operate. I will share how we operated in 3M and how we operated in Unilever. Unilever is a different business, but 3M is related to this because 3M had 60,000 products. It was in technology, it was in B2B, it was in IT, it was in FMCG, it was in signage, it was in everything. So that company taught us how to deal with every different. There used to be a time that I would have a meeting with Etisalat for a certain product I was selling. They're called telephone connectors. And then I'd go back and have a meeting with Carrefour. Different people. Here I'm dealing with engineers and telecom engineers, and then I would go and meet people in Carrefour who are basically buyers and merchandisers. Different business, different hat, different mindset. Then today in my career, 3 days ago, where I was sitting in Landi number 6. How many of you been to Landi number 6? 6 number Landi. Any been there? Have you been to Babar Market? Have any of you seen Kali Market, Kurangi 2 number? I have. Where do you live? Buffer zone. Okay. So, have you ever been to Sindhi Hotel? You haven't been to Sindhi Hotel outside Buffer zone? No? Okay. Buffer zone is the last roundabout. Okay. But it's the last roundabout. Second last. What is the last? Sakiyas? No. The second. Nagan is the last, right? So from Nagan, if you keep going straight, just before you hit Surjani, on the right hand side is a place called Sindhi Hotel. Okay? Sindhi Hotel is one of the strongest FMCG markets of Karachi. Okay? Very dangerous area, but I go there. Why? Because it's related to my field. I go there. I go everywhere. I go to Rauf Market. I have even been to Khadda Lyari area. I don't go now, but I've been to Khadda, I've been to Lyari, I've been to Agra Taj, everywhere. Why? Somebody will say, Shamil, you go into this place? Of course, it's business. And because I love business, I got to go to places where nobody else will go. So somebody will turn around and say, Shamil, you live in defense, and this is your lifestyle. How can you go there? If I don't go there, somebody else will, right? And I sell so much mosquito coil in Orangi. How many of you been to Orangi here? Nobody been to Orangi? Okay. Where in Orangi have you been? Where in Orangi? You been to Orangi?
Yeah.
Where in Orangi?
I don't know exactly. It's a guy who makes leather bags and he's on top of his house in those three
Well,
cities?
is it in Banaras? Is
I
it
don't
in
know,
okay?
Because I was taken.
Okay,
there.
Orangi, by the way, is one of the biggest localities of Karachi. Okay, Orangi is so huge that when you enter Orangi, you go, first comes Aligarh and Banaras. Then you go deep, Pakistan Bazaar, Bangla Bazaar, Powerhouse, 11F, 11D. Okay, so, buddy, to achieve what I want to do, हम गटर में भी घुस जाते हैं, उसका अपना मजा है. हमने अचीव करना है ना, हम गटर में घुस जाते हैं, बिकॉज हम जब गटर में घुसते हैं ना, तो हमें पता है कि भाई कि गटर में क्या स्मेल आती है और उसको कैसे डील करना है. हाँ, अपने महलों में भी रहते हैं, बट इफ आई डोंट डू दिस, somebody else is. So if I was doing your business, I would go so bloody grassroots level you can't even imagine, because to go grassroots level you understand the game. Forget Karachi, let's talk about any city in Pakistan. What have I not been to? Which city are you, anybody travel anywhere in Pakistan? Anybody been to Punjab in this room? Okay, very good. Where have you been to in Punjab?
मैंने रावलपिंडी लाहौर
Has anybody got roots in Punjab in this room? Okay. हाँ? सर किधर है आपके रूट्स?
मैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट जेलम से.
अच्छा, जेलम से, ठीक है. पोटोहार में all the way from Gujar Khan, Jhelum, every area I have gone very, very deep. I know the families of those areas. Okay, Jhelums are basically Janjua and Kayanis. Okay, the whole Jhelum belt is that thing. So Jhelum is, and I've been deep into Jhelum. Okay, I know Jhelum, I know Lala Musa, I know Gujarat, I know Kamoki, Muridke, ye wo, because hey, my territory. Mandi Baudin very well. Mandi Baudi I know very well because I've got friends in Mandi Baudin. Okay, we can discuss any industry here right now. You want to discuss milk with me? You want to discuss what Tetra Pak is doing where? Do you want to discuss, what do you want? You want to discuss, you did leather bags, you want to discuss leather with me? Who's the biggest player in leather in Pakistan?
I think I only know little. KHAS is pretty big.
Leatherfield, Sialkot. Leatherfield, Sialkot.
I don't know the name. I visited two of them in Sialkot also.
Leatherfield,
But I don't know,
Sialkot.
I can't remember the name.
Why do I know leather? I used to sell leather dyes. So people in the leather industry, they were friends. The same. You want to discuss textile? All the way from textile. Why? Why are we so diverse here? Because exposure is the game. What is this? It's exposure. भाई, if you want to today talk about धागा, कौन है player धागा में? हम उससे पूछो, मैं आपको सब बताता हूँ. हाँ? Asli Pari is a dead brand now. JP Coates runs the show. जो आप असली परी की बात करें, असली परी died 10 years ago. It doesn't exist anymore. ठीक है ना? But you got to understand who are the yarn players. पाकिस्तान में yarn कहाँ बिकता है? What's the yarn की market क्या है? बताओ. नहीं, कपड़ा market नहीं है, अल्लाह वाला market है. Yarn. Ahmed Attire Company, Munib Chawla. You got to understand who are the yarn players. Yarn is done through brokers. Who buys yarn in Pakistan? Who are the big players? Who are the trading houses who buy yarn in Pakistan? Marubeni, Mitsubishi. Now remember one thing, when you have diversity of knowledge, you have a game. You want to discuss footballs, you want to discuss this thing, you want to international trade. Why do we have knowledge? Because knowledge is what I told you is intellectual power. So when I asked you a question, why am I powerful? It's because I got this and I want more. Okay, so the more knowledge you have, the better, the stronger you get. What is knowledge? I mean, today you visited 10 countries, right? 10 countries you met 10 cultures. You saw how 10 people from different cultures think. What do people from different cultures perceive about us? What do we perceive about them? Okay? Why do I bring it back to business? Because I feel that I'm not writing a book. I'm not entering some cultural program. For us, it's about business. So we are here to basically grow business. If you look at the companies, most of the ones you are handling, okay, you got 1 million businesses you're talking about. But what is 1 million businesses? Some of them you want to franchise. Some you will never be able to franchise. You'll have to do them yourself. are we ready to do these businesses ourselves? Because if you are ready, raising capital, getting things done, it's not difficult. But are we geared up to actually do these businesses? Yes, the franchise model can work, cannot work. But a franchise model works once the brand is strong. OT, OPTP, they are giving franchises now. Khadi, franchises now. But Khadi is also a 2.6 billion rupee brand. You know that's the sale for Khadi? 2.6 billion.
Annual?
38 stores. बैकयार्ड से शुरू किया था. सो इन जैसे लोगों के साथ हम लोग बैठते हैं ना, ये हम ऐसे ऐसे लोगों में हम लोग करते हैं ना, तो ऑब्वियसली हमारा दिमाग तो वैसा ही होगा ना. अगर मैं इफ आई वाज सिटिंग विद चरसी मवाली लोग तो हम दूसरी बात कर रहे होते हैं. ओके ना, हमारा दिमाग इसलिए ऐसा हो गया बिकॉज़ वी आर सिटिंग विद विनर्स मैन. वी आर लुकिंग एट देम एंड सेइंग व्हाट द हेल एम आई डूइंग यार, व्हाट एम आई डूइंग विद माय लाइफ, एंड दिस गाय हैज Khadi at 2.6 billion. Aren't I doing something wrong? Another school of thought is that, you know, Shamil, you should thank God for what you have. बस करो. Okay, ये भी कर सकता हूँ. मलंग बन जाऊँ, पीर बन जाऊँ, कैसा? You know, तारिक जमील का स्टूडेंट बन जाऊँ. I don't know. Isn't that also a good idea? But hey, you think there's no money in that game? Is Junaid Jamshed starving? I don't know. What do you think? क्या भूखा मारा है जुनैद जमशेद अल्लाह के नाम पे?
He's minting money.
Obviously he's minting money
I live in Western.
because he's an entrepreneur.
I live in Western.
Huh?
I live in Western.
Yes. Sohail bhai.
So, I know.
Of course I know them. They're the ones who took me for Hajj, yaar. Okay? Of course I know everybody. But the thing is, you have to understand. You have to understand. My only existence here is to tell you people that life is about bullish business. We are here for bullish business. Okay? And with or without me, or whether I'm not here, that is eventually going to be the culture in this place. Because eventually this is going to be the culture. It's going to be business. Okay? And you will realize that because if whether someone like me, somebody else, somebody like him, eventually सबको यही implement करना पड़ेगा culture of business and productivity. This is the real truth. It's applicable everywhere, because if you do not do that, we lose business. Even I tell you, even the social programs you have. What do you think? Aman Foundation doesn't make money? We all make. It's all about making money. A foundation, what does it do? It gives something to the system, but it takes something back. Otherwise, how will businesses run? So this is what my basically in a nutshell. This is what I wanted to convey. I will be Ji.
So I'll ask the same question again. Why are you here? They might be thinking that I called you, but actually you called me in and said, can I come at 2 o'clock? I said, no, these people come at 6. I said, no problem, I'll come at 6. Why are you here? What attracted you to these people or this organization? Why do you want to be here? How do you want to help? Or
I don't know how I want to help. I'm just telling you.
Why are you not at 3M? Why are you not at OPTP? Why are these people lucky to be around you? Why are you not sitting with Khadi? Why are you not sitting with other people? That's the simple question I have. I mean, maybe they can realize
Okay.
what they're sitting on.
Okay.
What you can see, maybe you can show them.
Okay. I say not only the whole. I think this is a gold mine. Okay. It's like a sleeping giant, just sleeping. Okay. I think. I think you need to be more aggressive too. That's my opinion. Okay. Because why you need to be more aggressive is because you have built a great structure. Okay. Your IT thing is like mind blowing. What you're doing in the IT field, it's mind blowing. Okay. But you also, like any smart entrepreneur, believes in diversification. Okay. Diversification is something in that field. Okay, I saw your structure. We spoke. I said, in certain ways I can contribute, and so and basically you also said that why don't you meet the people? So I met the people. Okay, the first meeting I had, okay, was informal. This is the first of my speeches that I'm going to be giving them. Okay, this is just session 1. The next one is I'm going to share presentations of how business is done. Then I'm going to share the lectures I've done in universities. I have them on file, so they will understand what kind of mindset people like me have. Okay, and what it will take for them as an organization to achieve goals. The goals are what you're going to give me because I don't know your goals. So that should answer your question. I don't know your total goals. Okay, what I know is, from what I see, is that you got brick, you got mortar, you got an environment, you got people. So if you are happy with your top line you're getting from this environment, then I have no business being here. If you feel that yes, Shamil, what you're saying is right, and we can go to a level that I think what you're saying is making sense, then yes, I will help you get to that level. That's why I'm here. If you're happy with what you think you're getting on a top line, then I guess I have no business being here. If you feel that what is happening top line is okay, great. Okay, nothing. And every business that you're doing is working as per plan, nothing like it. If you feel there are shortcomings, I fill the gap. That's what it's all about.
I would have shared.
Huh?
I would have shared that.
Chale, thank you.
I think everyone will appreciate.
That's what I'm saying. If everybody thinks everything is going as per
You are
plan,
giving the right direction, I would say. You are giving the right direction, which we have to go there. We have to achieve that goal.
I don't know the goals. I haven't seen the
You
numbers.
don't know, but it is the direction.
But I feel
Yeah.
the goals are very, very far away. Okay? I mean it's a very, very obvious judgment. I'm not saying they can't be achieved, but obviously that individually एक बंदा बोलेगा भाई देखें हम तो ये कर सकते हैं, पर आप मुझे बताओ कैसे करें, ना ये है ना वो है ना ये है ना वो है. Of course ये होगा. आप कहते हो कि भाई ये बात करें, आपको पता है कि उस दिन मैंने ये किया और मैंने ये कंप्लेन किया, किसी nobody did anything about it. Obviously जब आप किसी को बोलते हो भाई ये करना है, फिर अंदर से बातें निकलती हैं भाई, एक नहीं 100 बातें निकलती हैं कि भाई क्या मतलब है, हाउ कैन यू से दिस, आप तो बड़ी बातें कर रहे हो, डू यू नो दैट दिस वाज नॉट डन. Okay, you said that you expect us to do this, but guess what, look at this. I had a problem here but nobody addressed it. All that comes out. Obviously it comes out because obviously when an organization is saying we think you should do this, and they turn on and say, oh yeah, what about this? How come nobody addressed our problems? So somebody has to address your issues too. It's a common sense here. This is very common sense. How come nobody's attending this thing? And hey, we don't have problems in business? Of course we do. Then you turn on, someone will turn on and say, I get paid, for example, 25,000. This other guy in that company gets this thing. फिर आप करते हो भाई, then you compare job productivity, job role, job enrichment, job scope. There's a scope of a job. We worked, so हमें पता है every job has a scope. So if you and remember one thing, every job, by the way, a salary is always almost directly related to the top line. Obviously anybody who has bigger responsibility gets more money but gets greater responsibility. ये तो कॉमन सेंस है. अभी तो तुम लोग ये वाला काम करे तो ये एज आप बिजनेस ग्रो करोगे, डिफरेंट थिंग्स आर गोना कम, द गेम इज गोना चेंज. Sooner or later you see the game is going to change, and it's got nothing to do with me. I mean, I may never even come back. But the game always changes. Games are always changing. Business environment is changing. Today, someone is in a very calm peace of mind. Tomorrow, he wants more business. Appetites change. Mia Mansha had a father who was also very rich. Okay? But when Mia Mansha took over, he multiplied his father's business by more than 5,000%. Father only had Nishat Mills. Mia Mansha has MCB. He did a takeover of Adamji Insurance. Okay? What kind of takeover? Was it a merger? No. He raided the company and took it over. He raided the company. And in America, people like T. Boone Pickens and Warren Buffett do this all the time. They pick up companies. Carl Icahn. उनको पता है भाई काम कैसे होता है. They don't allow this. They pick up companies like this. You can't even compete there. So what am I telling you? Why they're doing this? People overnight lose their jobs. Things are gone. New management. What's happening? What if, Rehan, you decide to sell all this tomorrow? Nobody knows who's going to do what. So if Rehan sells tomorrow, you guys are still working here and you got a madman for a boss, वो तो day one से बोलेगा भाई, ये मेरी तो ये expectations हैं. जिंदगी में things change. अच्छे लोग, everybody loves good people. Everybody loves excellent people. Things change. So when you ask me a question, I give you a very honest, blunt answer. Bhai, if you are good, you will survive anywhere in the world. And why not survive here and become excellent, man? And then sit on his head and say, yeah, look, you've done everything you said. This is what we want. So this conversation is a very open conversation. You बोलो कि भाई, you say कि लोग you say Rehan sir, आपने हमें ये बोला, हमने किया और ये करने के लिए तैयार है. अब आप बताओ. कोई उसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है. To ask. बट अगर आप ब्लैकमेल करोगे तो फिर आपको देखो कैसा जोल्ट पड़ेगा. बिकॉज ब्लैकमेल कोई नहीं टॉलरेट करेगा. Him who's a much calmer personality than mine, even he will not tolerate it. You can say what you want, nobody will. He's a calm personality, right? But you try blackmailing him and you see what happens. So bottom line is very simple. You need to understand that this conversation doesn't mean anything, that anything is happening tomorrow, or I've come here to do something. This is a conversation saying that, hey, I'm impressed by you guys can do better, okay, and what we call, you guys can do better, and why don't you achieve your goals? And if you achieve goals, you will be rewarded. And if goals are being achieved, the company will expand. Obviously, if growth hogi, to DIDX will look at other things. तुम्हारा कॉल सेंटर एक्सपैंड होगा, डिफरेंट चीजें हो सकता है. आप बोलेगा यार गेस व्हाट, हम कॉल सेंटर है, हमने ये वाले businesses, how come we haven't gone and bid it for 911? Have you bid it for 911? Why not? If you're a call center. Because for 911, when you pick up the phone, they say, hello, can I help you, sir?
What's your emergency?
Huh?
What's your emergency?
What's your emergency? The accent has to be American. It's a 911. Thank you. So we'll end it here. Okay. Thank you. And what we will do is,